All for Ukraine podcast.
Ukraine's new leader of the economy. That's today's topic of the conversation. My name is Henry Sternberg. This is Economy of Trust podcast. So who's that new king? Who's that new leader of the future of Ukrainian economy that I do personally believe will be one of the leading in the world in terms of smart technologies, integration of those technologies, and in terms of production, manufacturing, as well as quality of life. I do strongly believe that Ukraine will achieve very high level of quality of life for its people, within 10 years post-war, due to everything that is hopefully will be coming to the country, hopefully with some of the efforts that we as a team will put in as Economy of Trust into that effort. And today we're going to talk about that new leader in Ukraine. And I think it will be surprising many people who's hearing this. The new leader, in my opinion, of Ukraine is not any particular company and not any particular asset or any particular industry. The new leader in Ukraine is municipality. And the reason is very simple. Because municipality now is going to be already the driver of the economy because of the decentralization. As I mentioned earlier in my podcast, I actually moved back to Kyiv, where I was born, in 2017 because of law of decentralization that allows us to build economies ground up. And that is a massive opportunity across Ukraine. Ukraine is a very large country, right? It is a country that has, at the moment, 1,472 municipalities. And within one of our organizations we work with and partner with, Mayors Club of Ukraine, we already have 646 mayors within our network that allows us to start planning those economic developments we are going to talk about today. But please believe the most important part in our discussion of what I mean is going to be focused on why municipality is so important now. Let me start with the problems. And problems from Ukrainian municipalities are very vast, and the challenge they have to deal with. And the number one challenge is, in my opinion, is how to transition from centrally planned economy to market economy. Let me give you an example. When I've been traveling throughout Ukraine, and I kind of already started entering several years back after the war started, in Ukraine, we start focusing on how we going to build economies bottom up by visiting many mayors, many municipalities across the country. And one of the shocking things to me was that when I was meeting with the municipal officials, and I was out naming names, practically across dozens of municipalities, as I was testing the market, learning from the market, is I would ask the question between to the administrators as well as to the business people who are attending meetings with that we held in those municipalities. And I would go around to the business people and I would ask one simple question: what has municipality done for you? What does it systematically help you with? So how does administration of the city really helps the business grow and basically attract business to its to its borders of municipality? And I was shocked by the answer, because pretty much across the board, across the regions, the answer was, we just want them not to bother us. We don't want them to get to basically get on our way of doing things. And that's kind of the message. And I was also shocked that many municipalities had no idea what businesses there are in the municipality operating. And that, again, shock. And the question is, how does the economy work? That was a puzzle I was trying to solve for 3 weeks in my head. And it comes back to a very simple history where, as a municipal administration and the central planned economy, you really don't need to deal with the local business. Why? Because local business at the central planned economy model pays to the federal level, and then federal level sends something back to municipality to take care of whatever things municipality takes care of. And that was a big revelation for me and a breakthrough for us as a company, because we immediately realized that municipalities, in order for us to achieve the vision of being able to build economies ground up across industries, across regions of Ukraine, we had to solve that particular problem. And basically, one of those meetings, I drew a triangle, a very simple triangle. Again, it's not something that I didn't come up with, but I think it was very easy to for the audience in Ukraine to visualize. You have the administration and you have the businesses. And administration must do everything to attract the business to its municipality in order for the business to create the jobs for the people, the third component of triangle, that then generates the taxes that goes into the budget that improves the quality of life of those people that are working in the local business. A very simple model. And that is the model that we are now trying to not only teach, as silly as it sounds, to very smart and great people of Ukraine, because having that triangle working well allows for economy to grow. And if it's broken, then there's a problem of the economy. And again, you don't have to be an economic genius to really understand that very simple concept. So it is one thing to understand the concept, is how to execute that. And before we get there, I want to make a point for everyone to listen to this podcast, is to understand where Ukrainian municipalities are today. And this is also something that is not being spoken very widely around Ukraine and in Ukraine itself, is we need to understand where we at. What is our starting point? So municipality, I identify 5 key areas that is very important fundamentally to make sure that we have a chance of solving that problem. So problem number 1, Ukrainian municipalities do not trust central government. It's a general statement, but pretty much municipal administration have no faith in the central government of Ukraine. Again, it is what it is. It's not a positive fact, but that's the fact today. Hopefully, national government is already, I'm seeing some indications, are working hard to solve the problem of working with municipalities. Now, number 2, Ukrainian municipalities, mayors, people will never give up the newly gained independence through the decentralization. It is a law that is critically important for Ukraine. It is a law that allows municipalities to take control of their economies, and it's a very good law in my opinion as well. As I said, this was a reason I moved back to Kyiv, to Ukraine, because I saw that's an opportunity to unleash the potential of the country. Number 3, pretty much every municipality in Ukraine sits on vast resources versus population that lives on that resource in terms of size of the land. And that's also very important. The Ukrainian municipal administrations have a lot of assets. We're talking about, they call it Rhode Island-sized assets because they're really large because of country size, and municipalities can be very large sizes as well due to the land that is within its borders. The 4th critical element, the political future of any mayor, of any municipal administration depends on its policies of creating local jobs. Meaning, how do we create local jobs that create income into the budget, revenues into the budget of the municipality that then goes back into the people, remember my triangle, in terms of improving their quality of life. And number 5th, where we come in, we need to understand, we speak with hundreds of mayors over the years, but also we speak to them daily now. And what's important to understand, the mayors themselves are very good people. They are bright people. They are ambitious people. They're people who really want to change and improve in their own municipalities. And there's many types of them that come from all walks of lives. But most importantly, none of them have ever had a need or experience of going from the central planned economy to the market economy. So there's very little know-how on the administrative parts of municipalities of how to get market economy working. And this is where we come in. In not only economy of trust, but we as international expats like myself, international community as a whole, where we can share that knowledge, share those best practices of governance, share those best practices of economic growth and how to sustain it and how to incentivize it correctly. It is my true belief that the competition in Ukraine will not be for money or projects, both important, but will be for people. How do municipalities make it attractive for people like me, not only in people around the world, but also for Ukrainians to come and live in their municipality? And that's a very big question for them to answer. So now, how do we solve that problem? We figure out the way to approach this in a very, so to speak, non-ordinary approach. Obviously, we know that national government of Ukraine is dealing with the war now. Generally speaking, governments on the national level of all types are not very effective of implementing stuff at the local level. We also know the local level does not have the knowledge, network, resources to do that. So we come up with an idea. That idea we call commerce departments of economic unions and municipalities within economic unions. We'll talk about economic unions a little bit in the net podcast, but definition of economic union in our model is basically adjacent 3+ adjacent municipalities that sign an agreement that we want to develop the economy together, which allows us to combine their resources and the size of the territory to build the future smart cities. And we'll have a whole separate podcast just on that component as well in the near future. Now, coming back to Commerce Department, the reason it's important because the biggest challenge that we hear on a daily basis from international partners, governments that are basically trying to facilitate capital flow into the country, and basically they're all upset about one thing. There's not enough qualified projects of the size that needs to be there, that can scale, that have strong management team, that fully prepared for financing. There's simply none of them exist in Ukraine. Believe it or not, at the beginning of the war, I made a bet that I will not see one project that I can take just as it is and go to the potential funding source and get financing for that project. So far I've been right, and that's the major problem for Ukraine. So the role of the Commerce Department would be to focus on first and foremost gathering what's there, the inventory. So right now municipalities are submitting to us all the types of opportunities. The parcels of land that can be developed into industrial parks. We have 114 of them across the country now, right? And there's going to be, I would guesstimate, we would build that database of potential industrial parks because of strict requirements. And we'll talk about industrial parks as a massive opportunity for any company coming to Ukraine in the next podcast. But they have to be, I believe, 11 hectares in order to be qualified to be industrial parks. Then they're submitting to us parcels of land that do not qualify, meaning 1 hectare of land, 3 hectares of land, that we want to do something with it. They're also submitting us all of the old structures they want to change, the old Soviet buildings, the old factories, all kinds of stuff that, basically no longer can be reused in the current shape form. So having those inventory as a first step allows us to really drive the upper people who are seeking to go into Ukraine. Here's the opportunities at that level. But then we also have companies and projects that are municipalities and businesses within municipality want to execute. Those projects are critical because those projects need to be properly prepared in order to get to the level of, to where they can be considered for strategic partnership with international company or for the investment from the financial institutions. So the Commerce Department is going to be basically identifying the projects, selecting the projects, and developing the projects. Now, at the same time, why is it the other part is important? Within the National Commerce Department of Economic Unions of Ukraine, we are now selecting companies from all around the world that are world-class in what they do. It can be engineering, architecture, water management, energy generation, or all kinds of services from legal to accounting, right? That allows us to basically provide any type of projects that originate in Ukraine with a key world-class service providers in order to build components of their project as the project's being developed. And all of that as the project being developed, the last piece of it, within Mayor's Club of Ukraine, we are hopefully in March will be launching an investment committee, which will basically be approving those projects to go towards financing. In Ukraine, majority of people look at money that we need money to do something. Money always comes last. We need to put everything together, have all the legal documentation, financial projections, all the suppliers, vendors, whoever's going to provide the technology, all have to be together before the money will consider that as an investment. And that's obviously a very difficult part. The good news is that practically every government around the world provides already opportunities to invest in Ukraine their own companies, meaning they give them money and stimulate their own economies in Germany, Netherlands, etc., in order for those companies to go into Ukraine with minimal risk. And that's very exciting for Ukraine because we have programs where you have fully granted project development feasibility studies. We are doing one right now. There are programs where governments are providing 35% of grant and 65% long-term debt with zero interest. There are programs of government for equipment where they provide 8.5 to 9 year financing, and the investment only can be 15% for Ukrainian companies. So there's massive opportunities in liquidity for the Ukraine, but you have to be ready for it. So the reason I believe the municipality is the new leader, the new king, the new big cheese in Ukrainian economy is because everything is going to be happening through municipalities in Ukraine. The central government role in attracting capital into the country will primarily, in my opinion, focus on major infrastructure projects, roads, railroads, all those airports, etc. Those type of big, massive projects that country also needs, but it does not involve primarily local authorities. For the job creation, for the opportunity to work and develop the economies, municipalities will play a key role. So in summary, those of you who are interested in coming into Ukraine, work and earn and develop Ukrainian economy, benefit the Ukrainian people, please keep in mind, do not run into Ukraine into the ministry's office. It is waste of time. I did it. I did all of it, right? Nobody needs to repeat my mistakes in Ukraine. The key is to identifying and finding a right local partner who with you can then approach development of the project and then the rest of the process as it develops. My name is Henry Sternberg. It's been a pleasure being with you. We're going to continue to discover Ukraine. Please share this video, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on my next podcast. Have a great day.